All right, today we're diving into a legal case that is, frankly, massive. We're talking about a federal lawsuit with allegations that stretch across decades, across continents, and involves sums of money in the trillions. So let's get right into the facts as they're presented in the complaint. So this quote right here, it's pulled directly from the court filings. It really sets the stage for what we're about to explore. This claim of a criminal enterprise that's supposedly been operating deep within the world of global finance and government. We're going to break down what exactly the plaintiffs are getting at here, based purely on the documents they've filed. And before we go any further, just a quick heads up, our goal here is simply to present the claims exactly as they appear in these legal documents. We're not taking a side or passing judgment. We're just explaining the case that the plaintiffs have brought before the court. Okay, so the whole foundation of this lawsuit is built on a really powerful piece of U.S. law, the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, or as you probably know it, RICO. Now, RICO is originally designed to take down huge criminal organizations, and the plaintiffs in this case are alleging they found one that's been running for decades. Now, the way the complaint lays this all out is, well, it's pretty unique. They don't describe a single pyramid-like structure. Instead, they talk about 7 coordinated wings. As you can see, each one has a very specific job. You've got the Systemic Usury and War Finance Wing, which they claim controls the entire financial system, even naming the architects of the Federal Reserve Act. Then there's the Media and Information Warfare Wing, which is accused of basically running propaganda to cover for the other wings. This 7-part structure is totally central to how the plaintiffs are trying to connect all these different defendants and their alleged actions. So we've seen the alleged structure of this enterprise. Now let's get into the what, the specific crimes the lawsuit accuses them of committing. In a RICO case, these are called predicate acts. They're the individual offenses that, when taken together, are supposed to show a pattern of criminal activity. And in this case, the allegations draw a really direct line between global finance and global conflict. Let's start with a really specific claim involving theft. The court filings allege that $4 billion were straight up stolen from a government-owned bank in Ukraine. The complaint says this theft was reported to authorities in both Ukraine and the U.S., but no action was ever taken to get the money back. And this next number, this is where the complaint gets into the human cost. The plaintiffs directly link the enterprise's financing of conflicts around the world since 1999. We're talking wars in Chechnya, Congo, Syria, and Ukraine, to an estimated death toll somewhere between 3.5 and 6.5 million people. And if you want to talk about scale, get a load of this. The filings claim a staggering total of 49,220 counts against the defendants. According to the complaint, they get to this number by multiplying 20 distinct violations over a 23-year period. It just goes to show the absolutely massive scope of this legal action. So as you can imagine, the list of alleged crimes is, well, it's extensive. The complaint covers everything from financial war crimes and human trafficking to your more standard issue fraud and extortion. But it also includes a really specific and very serious allegation we'll touch on again, obstruction of justice and the destruction of evidence connected to the events of 9/11. Okay, so with any alleged conspiracy this huge, you have to ask the big question, why? What's the motive? Well, the lawsuit puts forward a very specific one, and it frames it as the theft of the antidote. Let's dig into what that actually means. So yeah, why would this alleged enterprise go to such incredible lengths? According to the plaintiffs, it's not just about profit. It's about survival. Survival against a new technology that they claim threatens the enterprise's entire system of control. The complaint introduces a technology it calls QRATPOR, which is described as a quantum spherical chip. According to the lawsuit, this technology is the whole key to the motive. It's presented as this powerful antidote to the current financial system, a system the enterprise allegedly profits from because it could potentially wipe out the need for debt altogether. So what does this QR Raptor thing allegedly do? Well, the filings claim its capabilities are revolutionary. It supposedly supports economic models that don't rely on usury, the practice of lending money at unfairly high interest rates. According to the complaint, a technology that could create a debt-free economy would be a direct existential threat to an enterprise built on debt, and that, they claim, is the primary motive for all these alleged crimes, to suppress this technology. And this brings us to another huge piece of this lawsuit. The claim that the enterprise isn't just committing crimes out in the world, but that it's actively manipulating and attacking the justice system itself to make sure they never face the consequences. The complaint alleges this obstruction is happening on two fronts, in the U.S. and in Ukraine. In the U.S., they're pointing to things like unlawfully rejecting court documents and denying ADA accommodations for a disabled veteran who was one of the plaintiffs. Over in Ukraine, the allegations are even more stark, including the creation of fake court documents and a total denial of due process. So the lawsuit basically lays out this three-step pattern of obstruction. Step 1, obstruct the inquiry by withholding intelligence, like ignoring financial red flags related to 9/11. Step 2, physically destroy evidence, like selling off the World Trade Center steel as scrap metal. And finally, Step 3, deny access to the courts themselves, which effectively shuts down any path to justice. So after laying all of this out, the vast conspiracy, the alleged crimes, the obstruction, what are the plaintiffs actually asking the court to do? Let's take a look at their specific demands for relief. First up, the money. The number they're asking for is, well, it's just mind-boggling. The plaintiffs are seeking $31 trillion in damages. Now, under that RICO Act we talked about, there's a provision for treble damages, which means any amount they're awarded would be automatically tripled. It's designed to be a serious punishment to deter this kind of activity. But, it's not just about the money, not even close. The plaintiffs are asking the court for immediate, sweeping actions. We're talking about freezing the assets of all defendants, appointing a special master to oversee the whole thing, demanding the arrest of specific officials, compelling audits of U.S. court systems, and even issuing a written order for an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine. And that really leaves us with the biggest and maybe the most profound question that this lawsuit raises. When the very system designed to deliver justice, from the court clerks all the way up, is itself named as a defendant in a conspiracy, how is justice even possible? The case they filed is immense, it's complex, and it leaves you to think about the really deep implications of a challenge this fundamental.